There it is. Third gear. Can we do second? Second. There's second. There's second. Hydraulic fluid's very flammable, guys. That trans fluid can definitely ignite, and if it does, well, this car's probably going to burn to the ground right where it sets. So, guys, I'm a little concerned. Now there's smoke coming up through the engine bay. There's smoke just a lot. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Auto Auction Rebuilds. Today we're back. This car has done so good on the channel. I'm so happy that you guys are as excited about this car as I am, bringing an 11,000 mile Survivor Ford Mustang Cobra back to life. This is just incredible. And then the fact that it was literally 60% underwater and we got it running is just, I'm mind blown about this, guys. I can't believe that this car is coming back to life. Now, I have neglected to replace the rear differential fluid. I know I should have done that. I should do that, and I will do that, but I'm not going to do that right now. My question is, can this car drive 10 miles after being submerged in salt water in a hurricane in Florida? So let's get into it, guys. We're going to take her on a drive just like she is, and we're going to hope for the best. And I am really optimistic that we're going to be able to drive it. In case you missed the previous videos, I highly recommend you go check them out. Oh, well, it's not going to drive anywhere because it has no battery. Apparently, I took the battery out of it, probably to put it on charge, and I forgot about it. So I was ready to fire this thing up and see what'll happen, and we're not going to be able to do that just yet. So here's the water line, and it is a very accurate water line. Basically, just under where these top stripes are, the entire car was underwater. Now, I left this car a few days ago with some MacGyvering. I tried using a MagnaFlow tip, and we'll just throw that right there for now. But I took this pole and I pushed the clutch down with it, and then I left it for, I don't know, 2 or 3 days just sitting. The clutch is frozen in this car, guys. Like the clutch, flywheel, pressure plate, throwout bearing, everything is rusted. All right, so it's frozen. The clutch does not work in this car. So if you're wondering how I intend to drive a car with no clutch, well, then stay tuned for the rest of this video, because I'm going to show you how I think it will work, but I can't guarantee it. Before we go any further with this, I got a few new vehicles coming to the channel soon, so if you're interested in any of these, stay tuned, guys. This I just picked up, just a couple of days ago. It's a 2005 Chrysler PT Cruiser. It's got 50,000 original miles on it, and I gave like $750 for it. Over here, $850, a 2000 and I don't know, 3 or something. This is a 2006 Dodge Ram 1500. Yeah, $850. Supposed to be a run and drive. Both of these are from Oklahoma. And then if you're into the old school Chevys, I got something for you over here, guys. This is coming soon. This was dropped off literally minutes ago. And big shout out to the tow truck driver for leaving it literally in a place where they could tow it away. This is a highway. And this is my truck literally sitting on the city's property, city, county, whatever you want to call it. This is not my property. My property starts several feet back. So they just left it here, right on the side of the road. This is one that's been abandoned. It's been parked and left sitting for a very long time. This is one that's sat for years, guys. It does not run, and that's what makes it fun. I ended up winning the high bid on this for, I think, about $750 on this one as well. So if you like the old school Chevys, well, this one will be coming soon, guys. She's actually in really good shape, aside from the fact that, it doesn't run. And if that's not your cup of tea, I got a couple other things over here you may or may not be interested in, including an old DSM. You guys remember Mitsubishi Eclipse? 98 Mitsubishi Eclipse from a hurricane flood in Florida as well. I picked this up for, I think this is like $425. It's a little rough, but it's low miles, and it had the timing belt replaced prior to the hurricane happening. However, it got damaged in transit. We will get into that in another video. Water line says to be right here. Unfortunately, this water line I don't believe was correct. I think the water line was probably more like up here. It was pretty high. 98 Eclipse with under 100,000 miles. Got it pretty cheap, but like I said, unfortunately it is damaged and it came with no keys. That's going to make this a lot of fun. And then, listen, a 1992, a 1 year only Ford Crown Victoria, guys. This is coming very soon to the channel. I got to get on this. Another Florida Hurricane flood car, guys. Non-runner, saltwater flooded. Supposedly, this only has like 11,000 miles on the odometer or something like that. And I think I gave $200 for this, $250. Yeah, so 11,776 miles on the odometer. And oh, she's beautiful, guys. So stay tuned. I'm working on a video on this one too. And then the Chrysler Prowler that I ended up hitting a deer in. That one's fun. Filed a insurance claim on this one, and I have yet to hear back from them, so stay tuned. We'll try to figure that out. I'm a little concerned. You see this? I think maybe the deer hit the convertible top right here and maybe damaged. It's not broken, but you can clearly see it doesn't match the rest. Like something's not right there. Anyway, that one will be coming up soon too. So there's a sneak peek at several of the vehicles coming. I've also got a 2015 Ford Mustang EcoBoost in the garage, also in a saltwater flood from the hurricanes in Florida as well, that we're working on bringing back to life. So that brings us back to the Cobra. Let me go grab the battery. I'm crossing my fingers that maybe the clutch is no longer frozen in this, and hopefully leaving that pedal pushed down for days, you know, caused something to pop loose. I did spray everything in the clutch area with WD-40. I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but I tried it. Maybe it'll help, maybe it won't. And I totally forgot, guys. This car is back up for sale. It only brought $700. That'll never happen. The 2021 Hyundai Venue, I had a lot of you interested in it. That car is also back up for sale because the bidder did not pay for it. Okay, high bidder did not pay for it, so it's back up for sale. If you're interested, I'll put links below this video. These are just some of the other cars that I have sitting out here. You'll see a Maserati Ghibli, also a Hurricane car from Florida. That is not mine. That actually belongs to Monkey Wrench Mike, so I'm not going to show it to you guys. But this one right here, this is one I totally forgot about. I forgot it was even here. I haven't had a chance to do anything with this car yet, but I decided to buy another one. The Cobra turned out so well, I had to have this. This is a 1994 Ford Mustang GT, but there's a catch to this one. I found the previous owner in Florida who actually owns a speed shop. Yeah, a speed shop. And you'll notice on the side here, it just says this little 347 stroker supercharged. Yeah. And this blue, very rare color on these. Being that this is a 94, this has the 5.0 in it, guys. 1994, I paid like $2,300 for it. Waterline, way high, guys, way up here. That's not what you want to see. But if you take a look at the interior, it actually doesn't look too bad, does it? But you got all kinds of gauges. You got a wide band there, you got a giant tack over here, a boost gauge, you got a fuel pressure gauge, of course manual transmission. Looks like water may have, oh yeah, water definitely got, well, I don't want to get, ooh, I didn't see that. We got black mold growing in the back seat there, black and green. Oh yeah, wow. Okay, well, this has been sitting, guys. I really need to get onto this one as well, try to find out if it runs dries. But I got a hold of the previous owner, the guy that actually did all the building. I don't think the hood release works either. And I'm going to give you a little preview under the hood because this is another one that I'm super excited about. And he told me of some parts that he just installed. And he also told me that, well, let's just say he's got over $20,000 into the build on this car. And you may notice right there, that is a Powerdyne supercharger. All right, Ford Racing E-Core coil. And then up here, Edelbrock Performer RPM. That's not the factory intake. That is not a factory fuel pressure regulator. I mean, there's nothing under here that is actually factory. The engine says Ford Racing on the valve covers there. Huh. Well, that's interesting, guys. So if we could get this one running, this thing ought to be a bit of a beast. And the reason the hood latch doesn't work and it's using hood pins is because this is I think that's fiberglass hood. You should always have hood pins, some kind of a safety device installed on these to keep the hood from flying up when you're going down the road. So stay tuned for this one, guys, because I am super stoked for this one as well. And if you're not into any of that stuff, can you tell I'm into a Mustang thing right now? Another saltwater flooded Mustang from Florida right here. EcoBoost, not everybody's cup of tea, but you know, I think the EcoBoost is actually a pretty mean little car. Then I've got my 57 Chevy, and it's in the middle of a rather big transformation. I'll give you guys just a little sneak peek at what I've been working on under the hood. Chrome intake manifold. All right, we got chrome valve covers, chrome air box, I forgot what it's called, the chrome valve covers, and the chrome air cleaner. Good Lord have mercy, help me. We got the AVS2 ready to go back on. I got a new fuel pump. I got lots of parts, including an entire serpentine belt kit for this car from CVF Racing. Big shout out to them. And air conditioning. That's another big one over there from Vintage Air. We're going to be getting back to this here very soon, guys, trying to get all of this into that. Let's grab the booster pack and a battery. Let's see if we can get this thing to run. So first, the car has been sitting for a while, which I probably shouldn't do with a car that was just recovered from a flood, but let's see if we can... Uh-oh. Do we have gauges or anything? Oh, that shift's nice. Very nice. That sure is better than it was. Let's push the clutch in. Yeah, it still doesn't. Oh, died instantly. What? Why is the radio on? Come on. Ah, no. Come on. Flood cart, it dies immediately. It's almost like a security. I bet the security light's back on. It is. The theft light is flashing. Ah, great. Well, there's only one way to do this with that theft light flashing, and that is to literally leave the ignition on for quite a while. I've heard, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I've heard that you can close the door and like lock it with a key. I don't know, that's not working very well. Let's try to lock it with the fob. Unlock it with the fob. Let's put the key in the ignition and see if that... Ah, that may have... Son of a gun. That didn't seem to fix it. We'll try the other key. No. So, obviously, leaving it with the battery out caused the theft module to go off, and now it doesn't want to run. Well, I've sat here for a while, and the theft light has gone out. I left the key in the ignition with it on. We'll see if it runs. It just flashes again. Great. Great. This is not getting us anywhere, guys. All right, guys, are you ready for this? She's running. I don't want to get into how long it took, but it took some special equipment to get her going. We got her going, though, okay? She's running. We're going to see if we can take it out for his first drive. Now, when I push in the clutch, you hear that? That's not good. When you try to put it in gear, it almost tries reverse. No other gear. Okay, so you're probably wondering, how are you going to drive it like this, right? See, it just grinds. Okay, so let me show you how I do it. Shut the car off and put it in the gear you want to be in. Start it up. It starts rolling. Okay. Let off the clutch. And this is a little tricky because once it's in a gear, you're not going to get it out of this gear, okay? She's not particularly happy right now about this whole situation. Yeah, she's jammed in gear. So once you know you're where you need to be, shut the car off. First gear, start it up. And then start driving in the direction that you want to go. Okay, now the problem is, sometimes you can see, I got it out of first, but you can't get it into another gear now, okay? So here's the tricky part. You gotta shut it off. You need to be in the gear that you want to be driving in. So in my case, obviously we can't do fifth. First won't get us going fast enough to be on public roads. Neither will second. Third, maybe. Fourth, definitely a better idea, but fourth gear and trying to get up this hill right here, I don't know if fourth gear is going to do it. So I'm gonna call it third. Started in third gear, give her some gas, let off the clutch. You're gonna have to really give it some throttle to start out in third, because we're obviously going to be kind of slipping the clutch here. Now we got this guy sitting over here, so I can't see if there's any traffic coming, and then I've got this truck that they so politely just dropped right here. I can't hardly see anything from that direction either. And I have no brake lights. I forgot, I've got no brake lights at all. So give me a second, guys. Let me try to navigate both directions. Oh, don't die. Don't die. Once this car goes, I think we're good. Come on. She's not very happy right now. Come on. Come on. Easy. Easy. There we go. There we go. All right, and we're cruising. First drive. Yeah, third gear was the wrong gear. We're up to about 35 miles an hour and we're already at 2,000 RPM. I really don't want to start revving hard on this thing, especially being that it's our first drive. I'd love to try to get it in fourth. There, if I let off the clutch completely, it sounds much better. But she's not very happy. Third gear may be just fine. Maybe it needs to rev a little bit. Let the revs come up. Oh, there she goes. She's cleaning up. It was misfiring. We're up to 50. The speed limit goes up to 65 right here. So, do you think cruise control works? What do you think the chances are that we have cruise? There's 60. We're doing 60 and set cruise control. No. On, set. No. All right. So she's not running perfect, obviously. It was underwater. I don't expect perfection out of it. I'm really leery to even be trying to make it 10 miles in this car. This is something we should not be doing. The cooling fan doesn't work. There's a lot of components in the car that do not work. And we're sitting at almost 4,000 RPM right now, about 3,600 RPM. But with that said, she's doing it, guys. She's actually doing it, and it looks like the odometer works. Yes, it does. It does. If you take a close look at the odometer, you'll compare when we're done. Currently, it's at 11,492, and the trip is at 29.6 miles, if you can even see that. I don't know. All right, let's turn on the radio. It drives straight as an arrow. Does the radio work? It comes on. Yeah. The radio works. Not very well. Only one speaker's coming to life. We are blowing smoke out of the tailpipe like crazy, guys. Let me, oh wow, she's smoking really bad. I don't know if you can see that out the back. Oh my goodness, she is smoking so bad. Oh my goodness. That could be the transmission fluid working its way out. The power mirrors even work. That's impressive. Oh wow. Oh my gosh. Wow, that's a lot of smoke. Oil pressure is good. That's one thing that I'm concerned about. Oil pressure is good. And it's mostly running like it should. when you're not really hard on the accelerator, it's not smoking. But as soon as I really... Oh, wow. Oh, that is a lot of smoke. And we're doing 75. I'm very hopeful that all that transmission fluid and Marvel Mystery Oil is still working its way through the exhaust and working its way out of the system. That would obviously cause all of that smoke that we're seeing right there. As far as, like, how does the car drive? It actually drives great. It's handling great. Horn works. All the windows work. The most important things work, you know, like the steering functions, the brakes function. Transmission doesn't quite work right, but we're in 3rd gear and we're cruising. We ought to try it in 4th gear on the way back. I don't know. I feel like having it revved up is probably good for it. We need to get this junk that's in here out, and the only way to do that is really to let it breathe. It's doing great, guys, except for, let me see if I can get you back there again. I don't know how well that comes out, but let me hit the gas. Oh my God. That's not good. That's not good. It could be blowing oil right out of the exhaust too, guys. We could have some serious problems with this engine. Although I'll be honest with you, it's running way too good. You can see the lights here. There's no flashing check engine light. I don't feel any misfire. She's doing all right. Ooh. Oh man. You hear that grinding? Actually, I'm gonna turn left here. Let's just get off right here and flip around. That'll make it easier for us to get out. Let's hop out of the car real quick. I think it's thumbnail time, guys. Oh man. It comes out of first. The e-brake doesn't work at all, so what are we gonna do? Just let it roll? Yeah, she's rolling. Oh, it almost went into... You hear it? It tries... Oh, it's smoking like crazy out of the exhaust right now, guys. Oh my goodness. It's smoking like... Seriously, that's actually smoking really bad. It's concerning me. I'm gonna shut it off. I'm gonna put it in gear and just let it sit. Let's go take a look and see. I'm very concerned. Even shut off, it's still smoking pretty profusely. Let's take the keys with us, just in case. Well, it's not smoking now. Yeah. So you see, it's soaking wet back here. That's trans fluid. I can smell it. Look at that. You see that exhaust smoking? I can hear the transmission fluid like bubbling and boiling in the exhaust on this. Wow. Yeah, guys, she's not even running. And it's just smoking like crazy. And it's very wet back here. All right, well, let's just pop the hood real quick. Double check. I need a thumbnail from over here anyway. So it's done the 5-mile journey. Hopefully it can make it 5 miles back. Is everything under here okay? I mean, everything looks fine. Yeah, looks fine, sounds fine. Nice pressure on the cooling system. It's not hot. Everything under here actually looks good, guys. Well, what do you guys think? Are we safe? Oh, it's smoking underneath the car too. Yeah, it's smoking from like the catalytic converters. Oh, you know what I didn't bring? I brought everything I could think of that I might need on this trip except for a fire extinguisher. Because hydraulic fluid's very flammable, guys. That trans fluid can definitely ignite, and if it does, well, this car's probably gonna burn to the ground right where it sets. So guys, I'm a little concerned. Now there's smoke coming up through the engine bay. It was rolling up from back here, and I can still see it. I don't know if you guys can see it. There's smoke just a lot. Yeah, catalytic converter soaked. You see all that? So she's not on fire. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and try to make it back. I mean, it's not on fire, but boy, is it smoking something crazy right now. So to do this, I don't know, what gear should we be in? Should I try fourth? I don't know if it's gonna want to take off at fourth. Guys, let me buckle up and let's try to get this thing back on the road. Well, I just tried to start it and it died. Come on, stay running, girl. Stay with me. This was a bad idea. So I'm in fourth gear. I'm gonna try to do this in fourth, guys. Let's just get through this stop sign. There we go. We're in fourth. We're moving. There we go. This time, instead of having the revs up, I'm gonna try to keep the revs down. That's why we're in fourth gear cruising. And with any luck, that'll help keep the exhaust a little bit cooler. And in theory, cooler exhaust means less likely chance that this thing is going to try to ignite itself. We're doing 60, no problem at all. We're under 3,000 RPMs. All the gauges look great. The car is still running and driving exactly the way I'd expect it to. I wish I had fifth gear. It's not misfiring at all. I mean, surprisingly, the car is very quiet and honestly, very comfortable. This is a good riding car, guys. We're currently cruising at 70. And as you can see, like, everything is good. I just gotta make it home. I am absolutely terrified right now that this thing is gonna try to catch on fire, and I have no way of putting it out. Now, if I can make it to the house, I've got fire extinguishers galore. The one thing I didn't think to bring with me on this trip was a fire extinguisher, to be completely honest with you. It's been a while since I've done anything to this car. It's been just sitting. I've been working on my 57 Chevy mostly lately, working on a video for you guys on that car, and this has just been sitting. I totally forgot about it, and I totally forgot that the exhaust was full of transmission fluid, and we were literally taking it out for its first drive with an exhaust full of flammable transmission fluid. This was a horrible, horrible idea. However, we're committed. There's nothing we can do. We're already out here. We're already on the road. All we have to do is make it, I don't know, like 3.5 miles. If we could do that, guys, we're gonna be okay. So far, so good. I feel like we're gonna make it. I'm looking behind me and I don't see any smoke anymore. I think the majority of that transmission fluid has been blown out and burned out of the exhaust. I know there's still some in there, but I think we've cleared most of it out. The most amazing thing to me about this car is that, I mean, number one, it's only got 11,000 miles on it, but number two, the low mileage is one thing. This car was like a barn find. Who finds an 11,000 mile Cobra, like an actual miles, 11,000 mile Cobra sitting in a garage? For, what do we pay for this, $2,800? But then it goes even deeper than that, and the pun is intended. This car was almost fully submerged under salt water in a hurricane. So not only do you have a barn find, but you have a barn find that was under salt water. And here we are, just a matter of a couple weeks after purchasing this car for pennies on the dollar of what its actual value was. We are driving it at 75 miles an hour, highway speeds, on the road. And although it's not perfect and you can't shift gears the way you would traditionally shift gears, it works. It is a usable car. I don't know, guys. To me, this is nothing short of ridiculously impressive. We're back in town. The speed limit drops down to 55 and now 45. I'm not seeing any smoke coming out of anywhere of the car. I don't smell anything funny other than a slightly funky interior. I think it's gonna be all right, guys. Take a look at the gauges. We're cruising. She seems quite happy. She does. The clock works, the radio works. If only we could get this dang shifter to work. I think we're gonna end up having to pull the transmission out of this, guys, which, whatever, not a big deal. I will absolutely do that. I'm gonna do it anyway. Oh, you can hear that. Oh, we just shifted gears. It broke loose. Oh, come on. I just shifted gears. I did. It broke loose and now I'm stuck. I'm going down the road and I can't. It literally. Oh, son of a gun. It literally I just shifted from 4th to 3rd and it did it. It freaking did it. So it's already getting better. There it is. There it is. 3rd gear. Can we do 2nd? 2nd. There's 2nd. There's 2nd. All right. All right. Hey. I'm not going to go for 1st. I don't have a good feeling about 1st. But 2nd, I can work with 2nd. I can work with 2nd. All right, let's take it out and see if we can. Let's take it out and see if we can shift it real quick, and then I'll call it. I'm so excited we actually shifted gears right now, guys. There we go. 2nd gear. Come on, 3rd. 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 4th. Come on, give me 4th. Give me 4th. There's 4th. Yeah! Can we go back down to 3rd? 3rd. There's 3rd. I'm not using the clutch, that's why. That's why I'm not using the clutch. No clutch at all. Come on. Let the RPMs drop. Come on. There's 2nd. We're not using the clutch at all, guys, so nothing is fixed. Nothing is fixed. I thought it was, but it's not. We're simply rev matching, and you don't need a clutch. I mean, you need the clutch to have bite to be functional, but you don't actually need like your pressure plate or anything to shift gears, as long as you're rev matching it. So I got a little excited a little bit early. I thought that we were actually shifting gears in the car, and we weren't. I'm in 2nd now. Let's see if I can go up to 3rd. Give it a little rev. As the revs come down, come on. Oh, come on. She's not going to do 3rd. Back to 2nd. But we are, see, 2nd gear, not a problem. Come on. 3rd gear. There's 3rd. There it is. There it is. So you can see we're clearly shifting through the gears. I'm not pushing the clutch at all though. Like none. So there's a little trick for you guys. You can technically drive a car like this that's having some pretty significant transmission problems. It'll do it, man. It'll do it. Let's try to get back down into 2nd gear. Let's come around this corner. A little rev. Come on, 2nd. There's 2nd. There we go. Now, coming to a stop, you need a clutch for that, guys. Thankfully, I have enough of a clutch that I can push it in and disengage the engine from the transmission. And then as I let off the clutch, it takes off. But I don't have enough of a clutch to shift through the gears, unfortunately. But you know what? It's working. Oh, it sounds good. It's not smoking anymore either. Perfect. All right, well, oh, that sounds awful. That sounds so bad. We're home. It made it. Can we get it out a second? Yeah. It's getting better. You know what I mean? It's coming out of gear now. Before you could not. Hear that clutch? Before you could not get it out of gear. Reverse, so close, man. Oh, she tries. It's just not gonna happen. All right, well, we made it home. Again, gauges look good. Gonna shut it off, and now you can put it in gear when it's not running, so. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is your Saturday video. I'm filming this on Friday evening, right before the holidays. Let's see if it's still smoking out of the exhaust now. The exhaust is soaking wet. I mean, the exhaust is literally just drenched in transmission fluid there, guys. But you can see she's not smoking. So next steps for the car. Obviously, transmission's got to come out. I was hoping that we'd be able to free it up and get it working enough to just kind of use it for a little while. But the truth is, driving it like this is not good for the car. Okay, we're going to end up damaging some components in the transmission or something, continuing to drive it like this. And the last thing I want to do is mess up this beautiful car. I do have the headlight for it, so we'll put that headlight in. It matches that one. So once we put the headlight in and clean the car up, I plan on doing a flywheel, pressure plate, pilot bearing, throwout bearing. All right, and for those of you that said I probably have air in the lines or whatever, guys, this is not a hydraulic clutch. Okay, this is a mechanical clutch. It's got a big thick cable that runs all the way down to the transmission. I've already opened up the inspection cover on the trans, and it's all rusted. Okay, everything in there is rusted. The good news is we have all of our gears. Okay, all of the gears do work. There's no funny noises aside from the throwout bearing going absolutely crazy. The bearings are probably just toast in that thing. So what is it? 3-4 hour job, I would assume, to take out the transmission, swap out the flywheel, pressure plate, throwout bearing, and all that stuff. We want to replace everything under there. Of course, I need to get into the rear diff, drain and take off the cover, drain it out, refill it with fresh fluid, and at that point, the car should be good to go other than a few minor problems. The cooling fan does not work. And I believe that is, number one, due to a bad cooling fan from being underwater. And number two, there's a module in this car called a CCRM. It's a constant control relay module. And I need to get it out of here so I can find the part number. It sits somewhere up under the fender. So I've got to take the wheel off. You've got to get this fender liner out right here. And it's going to be somewhere up in there. I need to get the part number and order another one. I actually found 2 of them on eBay that are NOS, new old stocks. So they should work perfectly with this car. That constant control relay module actually runs a lot of the stuff, including the fuel pump, and the computer, I believe, is run by it, and the cooling fan is run by it as well. I think just for safety, we'll grab a CCRM module just to be safe. Now, if you're wondering what happens after all of that, there are so many things in this car that do not work. Okay, right now, the brake lights do not work. Okay, the parking lights do not work. The turn signals work. The headlights work, bright and dim, but we have absolutely no lights on the instrument cluster, and we have no parking lights. So my thought is, and yes, I've checked the fuses, my thought is this may have gone bad before the flood. It is a common failure point. I find it hard to believe that with 11,000 miles, this switch has gone bad. But everything is pointing back to this switch. So I think we're going to replace that switch, and hopefully that gives us our cluster lights and parking lights. The brake light switch is bad. I've already disconnected it, and I ran a jumper wire between the switch, and I did have working all 3 of the back brake lights function properly. So we need to replace that. Convertible top not working. That's going to be pretty simple. I think we have a couple problems here. One of them is this switch was underwater. Funny enough, the fog light switch was also underwater, and it works. But this switch right here, I don't think it works, so I bought another OEM one. Also, to use the convertible top, the e-brake has to be up. You'll notice my e-brake doesn't work. This part is not functioning. Right? So it doesn't work. Also, there's a switch. If you look down in here, you see how rusted that is? I'm going to have to take out the center console, which we're going to need to do the transmission anyway, I guess. Might as well do it all at the same time. I'm going to need to replace this entire unit with one that was not underwater. And then there's a switch hidden back there in the back that was underwater. Also, that switch has to say, hey, the parking brake is up before the convertible top will work. You'll notice it says right there, set parking brake. Without that switch giving a signal, this switch will not work. So we're going to just replace all of that. Then the fun part comes, because this seat's got to come out. Unfortunately, this is a power seat that was under salt water, which means the motors are going to be completely trashed. I'm hopeful that the passenger side is not power, because then all of the motors are going to be shot in that too. No, it is not good. This old school. So we might be able to save this seat. The driver's seat's a different story though. I don't know how that's going to work, but we've got to get these seats out of here. We also have to get the back seat out, upper and lower section of the seat, and the motors for the convertible top actually sit back there. I don't know if they were underwater or not, but we're going to have to take the seats out and find out. Center console's got to come out, carpet's got to come out. Probably Should take the door panels off as well. Everything in here needs to be gone through and cleaned out. And then I think with just a little bit of work and a little bit more money, I really think that this car, oh, the ABS module, the ABS pump sits down here in the front of the car. It was totally underwater. It's no good. So we need an ABS pump as well. So once we do all of that, oh, and the windshield wipers are stuck on high. That's right. I think the water may have got a little higher than we're thinking, guys, because the windshield wipers being stuck on high kind of tells me there's a problem with the switch. It does not turn off. The signals work just fine. The hazards work, but the windshield wipers will not turn off, like something is stuck in this switch. So I'm wondering if maybe the car got rocked around from waves or something. Maybe some of that salt water did get in here. Maybe it got under there too. We also have an airbag module that needs to be replaced, which I think sits right under there. What I'm trying to say is there's a lot of little things that need to be replaced, but none of these things cost a lot of money because of how old this car is. And that is the main reason I love messing with these older flooded cars. You know, it's not a Bentley, it's not a newer vehicle that's going to have a lot of modules. There's only a couple, 3, I think, control modules in this car. You have the CCRM here, the computer control module sits down there, and then you got an airbag module that sits in the center. And that's pretty much everything that runs this car. You do have a PATS module that sits in the trunk, but it's not like today's cars where you have modules after modules, door modules and seat modules and trunk modules and window modules. It's so much simpler. And because of how old it is, parts easily and cheaply, readily available for it, makes putting one of these back together a whole lot easier than trying to put something together that's a lot more complicated. With that, I'm going to get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Happy Saturday to you guys. Don't worry, I got another video coming up for you guys tomorrow that I think you're really going to enjoy. Take your guess which one you think it's going to be. Is it going to be the Crown Victoria? Is it going to be the Eclipse? It's going to be the 98 Chevy. Is that a Chevy Sierra 1500 pickup truck? Is it going to be the 94 Mustang GT that's supercharged? Or maybe it could be the PT Cruiser? Or it could also be this Dodge Ram, or I think 06 Ram right behind me. All these cars, stupid cheap, guys, and I'm having a lot of fun bringing all of this new content to you. If you're enjoying it, hit the thumbs up button and let me know. Consider subscribing to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And until next time, stay safe out there, everybody. I look forward to seeing you all again very soon in the next one.